forgot I needed to push all the buttons and put myself on stage. I've had a couple of days away, you guys, and I am back. I hope you all are doing so well. Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back to Crypto News with Julie Kennis. I'm your host, Julie Kennis, and this show is powered by the Gokhshtein News Network, proudly sponsored by Market Cypher. You guys, I hope your day is going just swell. Thank you all for tuning in. There's a lot of shows you could tune into, but thank you for choosing this show. I've had a lot going on. So yes, you're on the nose cam. I'm so glad you're on the nose cam. Look, what's funny is if I was just messing with the nose cam before I went live. Now, if I go in here to my media decks, now you see I've got like my little bars. If I remove my banner, boom, now it's not nose vision anymore. Now it's not nose vision anymore. You can like see me. I look like a normal person, right? But no, I gotta have the banner. So if you see me on vertical and you see me over on nose vision, which is just this tiny little hole, it gives me this tiny little hole to operate with. Like sometimes I'll get like my eyes and my nose. Sometimes it's just my nose and my mouth. So if you guys are over on vertical, just go over and smash a subscribe. Follow me. Just watch the horizontal. It's way better horizontal anyway. So. Yes. Yes, you guys, I've had the heck of a week. You guys know I had my dad's problem last week. His blood sugar was all over the place. I was taking care of my dad. And then my daughter, she's had a couple of seizures. She fell out of the bed, hit her forehead so hard. She had I thought it was a concussion. I mean, it like I was screaming. I don't normally scream anymore when my daughter has a bad time, but it was the knot that came out of her forehead, and it was like right above her eye. It was huge. It was like, psh, psh. Yeah, my car accident, my dad, now my daughter. Oh my gosh, and then my mom. You guys, I remember my mom. Over the Christmas holidays, she was having some cocktails and she fell over and she gave herself a black eye. So my mom just got rid of her black eye and now my daughter has a black eye. And then I don't even have the heart to tell her, daughter, I hope you're not watching right now. I love you. I hope you're not watching right now. But the swelling, so she still has significant swelling over one of her eyes. It's totally black on the upper eyelid, starting to be black under here, but now it's starting on the other eye. It's starting on the other eye. And I don't have the heart to tell her that she's going to have two black eyes. She already feels horrible that she has the one black eye, but now it's double black eye. And then the IEP meeting with the school is tomorrow. IEP meeting is tomorrow. So I'm going to take my daughter with her busted up face. It's a nightmare, you guys, but so although I've been in an ambulance twice now since the start of 2026, not the way I planned this year to start. So I rode with my daughter, in the back of the ambulance and just made sure she was okay. I probably should have drove and just followed her, but whatever. She's my daughter. I can't leave her alone. If something happens and I'm not there, then I'm going to be like, why didn't I ride with her? So I had to ride with her. So anyway, I rode with my daughter to the hospital. And she's just like me. So she had that happen the day before her formal. So we had done all this stuff to get her nails done, dress, all the stuff to go with the dress, all ready for formal. So the day before the formal, she has this seizure, ends up in the hospital. I told the doctor, look, she really wanted to go to formal. So the doctor ended up writing her a prescription for some pain pills. Shout out to the doctor. I know they're doctors are sometimes kind of weird about prescribing pain meds to kids. But my daughter's 16. She's not a kid, right? She's not a kid. But she's had her fair share of pain, and so she can tolerate some pain medicine. So I was happy that he gave her pain medicine. So it's funny because there was only 5 pills in the prescription, so very limited number. So I've only been allowing her to have one a day. So she'll like sleep most of the morning and then she wakes up. Well, yesterday by the afternoon, I gave her the pain pill. She started to feel better. She got out of bed for like the first time, but she ended up making it to formal. I told her, you go to formal and you'll probably be hurting really, really bad the next day. So she put her sunglasses on. She looked like a movie star. So she had a good time. Yeah, pain pills for her head injury. Yeah. Yeah, it's I guess I should have loaded a picture of it. She probably doesn't want that though. She probably doesn't want that though. So anyway, she's at home in recovery. I'm hoping she feels back to normal soon. But yeah, more than anything, it's just at her age, she doesn't wear a lot of makeup. She likes a natural look. She's got beautiful skin. She's got cute little freckles. So she doesn't like wearing makeup. And she's got freaking black eyes. She's got a giant shiner on her face. It's going to be like a month for it to go away. So yes, I've been nursed. I've been, ibuprofen and giving her ice packs. And now we've switched to like a warm compress and, trying to make her feel better. I just feel so bad. I feel so bad for my poor baby. So it sucks when your child isn't feeling good and there's nothing you can do to make it better. But anyway, we move on. So tomorrow I will be on the live stream. I might start a little early, but I'll have to wrap up. My appointment at the school is at 2:00. So I have to be at the school by 2:00. So I can't be here talking too late tomorrow, but I will be here. So anyway, thank you guys for tuning in. This is Crypto News with Julie Kittis. We have a fun and exciting show for today. We do. Crypto Brian says, I like to go natural. I have not seen you anything but natural. So I don't know. Maybe I want to see you all done up, Brian. I want to see you with your lashes on. Look at Birdie. Anyway, I'm just kidding. I missed you guys. I get my little rut. So anyway, without further ado, let's go ahead and look at the charts. All right, you guys, taking a look. Let me see, make sure I got it up there. Do I got it up there? I got it up there. Okay, good. Okay. All right, taking a look here. We were looking a little positive here. I'm still on the 3-minute chart. I guess I could zoom out a bit. Go to 5-minute. So we did start to see a little bit of positive momentum with the money flow. As you can see, we were here in the negative on the money flow. Started to move up just a hair here. We did touch just a shy of 70,000 Bitcoin, but we are definitely in a bear market at this point. And taking a look here at the market cipher lines after this positive trend, we did have a pullback as we expected. And just now we're starting to see a little bit of lift off here unless we see another red dot print. Looks like we're going to continue to move up with a little bit of positive momentum. But guys, right now, unless you feel really confident in playing this market, there is just going to be swings and we will be continuing to put in lower lows and lower highs, at least for a little bit. I still think bear market for us started back in October. I don't know. What is it? A year down? We'll start to see maybe some positive momentum later this year. I feel like it's going to be down. But the good thing about when we are down is that this is where the money is made. Oops, I don't want to see that. Let me see. I want this. Come here. There we are. Okay. I'm like, where am I at? Okay, taking a look at Bitcoin. It's currently trading at 68,800, and this will continue to hover around this range. Taking a look at Ethereum, it's hanging on to 2,000. But guys, I think people are starting to rethink their strategy and how they're allocating their plays. Because let me tell you, I think people thought we were going to have a different type of altcoin season, and the altcoin season just never really happened. Yeah, it never really happened. People say, yeah, we had a pump, I don't know. Solana did fairly well. Solana did fairly well. But it's currently trading at $82. I do have some of my liquidity sitting on the side for Solana. I like Solana because with what I have on my Solana wallet, there's some stuff through Wormhole that I can also participate in if I want to get off of Solana network. But keeping it in Solana, in Sol, I kind of like that because there are plays on Ethereum that I really like. And so I will sometimes take some of my Degen Solana money and I put it in my Wormhole. That's what I do. So anyway, taking a look at Solana, it's trading at $82. It looks like it's trying to come up slightly here until we print another red dot at least. All right, taking a look at Chainlink. Chainlink's trading at $8.53. What did we top out this cycle? I think it was about $20, $22, $20. It still was not, it went further than I thought it would. My Chainlink, I never did much with it. It's one of those that I've held on to and it's just sat there. Yes, listen to Julie. Julie likes Wormhole. All right, and Dogecoin, it's trading at 9 cents. 9 cents. I need to finish loading this full of some of my other tickers. But let me go ahead and pull up in the crypto bubbles. And moving over to the top 100, I was looking at this Pippin coin. Like, it's got to be a meme, right? It's got to be a meme. It looks completely ridiculous. I click on it. It's like up 1,000% in the year. 40% on the day. Just popped into the top 100 here, sitting at the 95 spot. It just no rhyme or reason. And then some of these other ones that I feel like are better coins, they'll drop off. But anyway, taking a look at the top 100, things for the most part are in the red. So, all right. Let's go ahead and move into some breaking news. I don't remember where I was going to start us. Where was I going to start us? What story was I going to start on first? All right, we'll start here first. All right, so hot news today is the pressure to get the Clarity Act passed. As you guys know, this is something that they have been pushing on to get pushed through. If it continues to stall out, there's a chance that we could see this stall out completely. So we have pro-crypto people, we have bankers who are pro-crypto, and people that want to get this passed. But for the most part, there is just a heck of a lot of back and forth about whether or not they are going to be paying out the rewards to customers. So right now, traditional banks, they're not really rewarding customers. They're using our money, they're borrowing our money, and they're not paying us out for any of the money that they're making off of that money. So this says Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent recently pressed lawmakers to act on stalled crypto legislation, saying the United States must secure clear market structure rules before the end of the spring legislative window. And that is just it, is that if they don't get it through in this window, it could stall out completely. So he recently pressed lawmakers to act on the stalled crypto and Bitcoin legislation, saying that the United States must secure clear market structure rules before the end of this window. In an interview on Fox on Sunday, Bessent said that the Digital Asset Market Clarity Act, commonly referred to as the Clarity Act, is essential in the future viability of Bitcoin and digital asset markets in the U.S. Bessent told the host Maria that the recent volatility and developments in crypto market really show the need for legal certainty. What we're seeing in the crypto market over the past few months means more than ever that the U.S. needs market structure. We need clarity, and we need to get this across the line this spring. Bessent acknowledged that the resistance from some quarters, but said he remains optimistic that Congress can bring the bill back for markup session. The Treasury chief described the current impasse as driven by actors who don't want the bill to be passed within the industry, who prefer to see the bill fail rather than to compromise on contentious elements. So as you guys all know, this is all coming down to stablecoin yield. Now, on the timeline, I was hoping there was going to be some mention in here of Coinbase. So, but as you guys may have seen on the timeline today, Brian Armstrong is really kind of taking the heat for this not going through, because he's the one who is standing up on behalf of the crypto industry, saying that stablecoin yield needs to remain, and the banks just absolutely do not want to provide that. So, central to this dispute are the provisions in the Clarity Act concerning the stablecoin yield and the role of the regulatory agencies. Opponents, including major exchange executives, have argued that proposed restrictions on rewards for stablecoin holdings could undermine the competitiveness of the U.S. exchanges and limit innovation. Banks and credit unions, in turn, have raised concerns that high yield on stablecoin accounts could pull deposits away from traditional banking system, undermining funding for lending activities. You guys, I just don't see the banks. The banks have their stance and what they're trying to determine, but the majority of like business owners or people that have diversified portfolios, they're not pulling all of their money out of the bank to put it into crypto. They're just diversifying their portfolio and allocating some of their funds into crypto because they see it as a good store of wealth. So I think this is something that the banks are just mad about. So this continues on. For crypto to remain a viable digital asset and move forward, we need this Clarity Act done, he said, pointing that bipartisan support in Congress as a pathway to success. The Treasury stance also reflects a broader executive branch push to position the U.S. as a global leader in crypto regulation. Besson said clear market structure regime could attract innovation and capital onshore, strengthening the domestic financial ecosystem, even as digital assets grow internationally. Lawmakers involved in negotiations have signaled that further closed-door talks are planned, with both chambers seeking to reconcile differences ahead of key legislative deadlines. So, Besson, the U.S. will stop selling its Bitcoin. Earlier this year, he did say that any of the Bitcoin that's been seized will not be sold any longer, which is good. They shouldn't have been selling it in the first place. And then when they were selling it, like, where was the money going? I just get mad, guys. All right. Let's see where we're going next here. All right. Let's move on to this one. So, crypto scam mastermind gets 20 years. Talking about the criminals of crypto now. Crypto scams mastermind gets 20 years for a $73 million pig butchering scheme. So a U.S. court sentenced Darren Lee to 20 years in prison for leading the $73 million crypto pig butchering scam targeting American investors. You guys know this one affects me personally, as my mother fell victim to this. So I pray that the information that she turned over, the access on her phone. My mom literally went to the detectives and was like, here is access to my Telegram. Here is access to these scammers. Here, I'm laughing because you're saying Joxie's hungover AF. Yeah, she was celebrating her birthday. I bet she was feeling good last night. That's one of the things that I don't miss about drinking, is the fact that, yeah, she's feeling it today. But that is fun though. All right. So he is a dual national of China and St. Kitts. He was sentenced to 20 years in a U.S. federal prison for orchestrating a global cryptocurrency scam that stole more than $73 million from victims. and many of them were American investors. Darren Lee, 42, received a statutory maximum sentence out of the Central District of California, along with 3 of the supervised release, according to a statement issued on Tuesday by the Department of Justice. Lee has been a fugitive since December of 2025 after cutting off his electronic ankle monitor and fleeing, the release states. So prosecutors say Lee and at least 8 co-conspirators established spoofed domains and websites resembling legitimate trading platforms to promote fraudulent crypto investments after gaining victims' trust in a scheme known as pig butchering scheme or phishing scheme. So yeah, as you guys know, my mom, she was targeted. Somebody on X, on Twitter, targeted her, got her into Telegram, and from Telegram had, we have this this platform, and you put your money in, and you can copy these professional traders, and you put your money in, and you can copy trade, and it will take your money and will copy trade. There was just different people, different professional traders. And so anyway, my mom looked at the website, she looked at the app, all look legit. Okay, $200,000 of my mom's retirement money is gone. And so, yeah, we turned over all the information. So this is really great to see that this is actually coming out of California. I truly hope that people who lost their life savings, like my mom, I doubt that they will ever get any of their money back. Like this guy, $73 million. My mom's owed $250,000 of that. So court filings show that the conspirators often initiated contact through social media platforms and dating apps, cultivating professional or romantic relationships before persuading victims to transfer funds into accounts controlled by the group. The court sentence reflects the gravity of Lee's conduct, which caused devastating losses to the victims throughout our country. So I'm happy to see this. I would love to see that if his assets were confiscated, that people could possibly get some of their money back. That would be wonderful. Lee is the first defendant to be sentenced. 8 other co-conspirators have pled guilty and are awaiting sentencing. 20 years. I imagine they're not too excited about hearing what their sentencing is going to be, though. Lee admitted that he and co-conspirators tricked victims into transferring at least $73 million in funds to bank accounts associated with the defendants, including $59.8 million from a U.S. shell companies that laundered victims' funds. The sentencing comes after more than a year after Lee pled guilty to conspiring with others to launder funds obtained from victims through crypto scams and fraud. So let's see here. This is just part of the nature of the offense. Defendant understands that the defendant to be guilty of the crime charged in one, that is the conspiracy to commit money laundering in violation of Title 18 United States Code. So yeah, they're just hacking everything on there. Crypto scams could see a resurgence in the start of 2026. Crypto scams and phishing incidents saw an uptick in January when scammers stole $370 million, of highest monthly figure in 11 months, according to crypto security company. So stay safe out there, guys. It's unfortunate that this stuff happens, but yeah, it would be nice to see if people who lost money were made whole. All right, moving on and talking about other criminals in crypto. Ex-SafeMoon CEO gets 8 years in prison sentence for defrauding investors. So Brad and John, Caroni, has been convicted last year on several federal charges, and he is ordered to pay back $7.5 million in restitution. The ex-CEO of SafeMoon faces up to 100 months or 8-year prison sentence after being convicted last year in a string of federal charges tied to defrauding investors in his digital asset operation. So the 100-month sentence was handed down on Tuesday in New York, and he must forfeit $7.5 million and 2 residences in the case. He lied to investors from all walks of life, including military veterans and hardworking Americans. He defrauded thousands of victims in order to buy mansions, sports cars, and custom trucks. Yeehaw. United States Attorney Nocella said in a statement, "Our office will continue to vigorously prosecute economic crimes that harm investors and weaken societal trust in the stability and security of digital asset markets." So, Caroni was said to have participated in manipulating the price of SafeMoon token and illicitly controlling liquidity pools in the failed Utah-based company, draining millions of dollars, according to the Department of Justice. After a 3-week trial, he was convicted of conspiracy to commit securities, wire fraud, and money laundering. One co-conspirator, Thomas Smith, also pled guilty in February 2025 to conspiracy to commit securities fraud, wire fraud, and though he has not yet been sentenced, another alleged SafeMoon co-conspirator, Kyle Nagy, is still wanted by authorities. So, homeboy is on the run. And moving on to the next article, because that's all we have to talk about lately, is just all of the criminals. All of the criminals. SBF files for a new trial over FTX fraud charges. The incarcerated former leader of the failed crypto exchange wants a new chance to defend against fraud charges. Sam Bankman-Fried, the former CEO of collapsed crypto exchange FTX, is seeking a new trial according to a request filed in a New York federal court by his mother. So, since being convicted and imprisoned on a 25-year sentence, SBF has been continually challenging his situation in court. The latest motion for a new trial, first reported on Tuesday by Intercity Press, was filed by his mother, Barbara Fried, claiming new evidence in the case would justify a reset. The filing noted the initial absence of testimony from figures including FTX's Ryan Salami, who fought his own separate legal battle. The former FTX executive was also convicted on federal charges, but has claimed he had made an arrangement to cooperate with prosecutors and should have protected his wife, Michelle Bond, from legal pursuit. She was later charged and allegedly taking illegal campaign contributions from her congressional bid. So, SBF's 35-page document arrived to the court as a pro se request, meaning that the defendant is representing himself. So efforts by SBF to argue that he didn't have a fair initial trial, which came to a head in November, was met with some skepticism by appellant judges. SBF's defense is seeking a retrial through appeal, focused attention on the lawmakers' later solvency of FTX. And his account on the social media site X continues to make the argument that the company wasn't bankrupt when it collapsed. However, judges contended in November that the solvency didn't seem to be the primary issue. So, what do you guys think on SBF? Because I feel like he was one in a line of dominoes that happened to fall. And yeah, I thought that they had ended up digging up the majority of the funds that went missing. So I don't know. But yeah, lots of crime going on in crypto right now, guys. Not gonna lie, I probably should not have gone through the Epstein files as much as I did. But it depends on what you put, right? It depends on what you put. So initially, like, I had typed in like Bitcoin into the Epstein files. But then I started to get a little like more into the weeds, and there was an article that was posted. I think it was on the 2nd. I didn't want to pull it up just because the nature of the article, the people it's talking about, it's naming key people in crypto in that particular article. Some of them, there's pictures. So I didn't want to pull it up. But, if you are in crypto and you have money in crypto, or maybe you participate and work in crypto, Just do your due diligence with the people that you work with. Cross-check the Epstein files. You might want to know if whoever you're doing business with is in the Epstein files, because there's actually some surprising names that come up when you start to search. And then on some of the maybe lesser surprising names, but more prominent figures in crypto, how frequently they were hanging out. It's a little scary and alarming. I had a bit of a like emotional time because I'm like thinking about crypto and is it, am I putting myself in danger is kind of how I feel. Like, am I putting myself in danger by continuing to be in crypto? So I've just kind of had to like think about things. Because this space is weird. And there's so many different layers to what's going on with crypto, with, AI, AI integration, maybe how economic society looks going forward. Perhaps there have been people that have been meeting for years discussing, artificial intelligence and things like that. So when we're in a time in our life where we are pivoting to artificial intelligence, and then you look at the people who were behind the development of AI, who which entities received funding, who the funding came from, who the people were that championed ushering in this era of AI. Because like, look, we're now looking at a time in society where many jobs are being eliminated. Many jobs. It's not just any one industry. It's like AI is everywhere. They're taking jobs at every level and ways that people didn't realize, I think. And it's continuing. There's certain things about AI that we don't have control over. Like, one AI told someone to go unalive themselves after enough talking. So we know that there are dark forces within these things that have been developed, like AI. But, just go look and see where the money is. Who are the people behind it? Who's taking the money and knowing that they're taking the money from people that are not good people? And then do we want to support those products? Do we want to support products if we know that the product was initially developed to be government spyware, or would strip us of our rights, or, our privacy? So I went down a really weird rabbit hole over this last weekend and like looking at stuff. And so, when all of this information is public, and it is all public, you can go and start to dig. And some names are named so many times that there's tabs and tabs and tabs. And they're like back and forth, like, when can I see you at this date, at that date? And these are like key people in our industry in crypto that were there with Epstein. And there's proof that they know what was going on. So yeah, it just feels weird now, because now I'm like, okay, I knew there was dark stuff in crypto. I always knew that. Like, there's always been the rumors, but it's like, once you start to see people and who they are and maybe who they're connected to, it like starts to make more sense. Maybe like why certain cabal circles you can't break into. Well, because you're not ever going to, because you're not one of them. Yeah. So there's scary stuff. So like literally there was an article that I wanted to pull up. It was an article that was posted. It's out there. People in crypto, there's a lot of people who know, but they're just not saying anything. They're not posting it. They're not, and I'm sure that they're scared for their life, and that's why they're not doing it. So, but yeah, there's, it's all there. It's all there. So I feel kind of weird. I feel kind of weird. I'm in a weird space, guys. I'm in a weird space right now. Like, help me find the fun in crypto again. When like the silly stupidness, like you guys, I used to make money off of feet pics, digital pixelated cartoon feet that look like they were made in paint. I want that part of crypto back. It was so fun back then. Literally, we were making money off of like feet and hands and butts and stuff. And like, it was just stupid. It was stupid and fun and silly. And that's the part of crypto that I like the most. So I need out of that deep dark rabbit hole, which is the Epstein files. It's scary, guys, but people you know are maybe in there. Just if you think, just type their name and look. Just look. It's all there. All right, you guys, that is the show for today. Tomorrow I will be back. I might run a little early. I got my IEP meeting at the school, so I got to pull out a cannibal pass at the school. No, I'm just kidding. I could tell the school's really freaking out. I'm totally taking my daughter with her 2 black guys, so they're gonna feel really bad. I don't know why. Oh, my comments over here are not. You guys, literally, I thought you guys just weren't commenting, and now I clicked over and I see all the comments. I see. Oh my gosh, I can't, you guys. All right, I will see you all tomorrow. Let's figure out how to make money off of pixelated feet pics again, because that was awesome. Those were good times. All right, guys, I will catch you all on the next one. Thanks for tuning in. Bye.